Hello and good morning. It's quite early down here still, but with the clocks going forward, it's very bright, but still very cold overnight. Anyway, what I'll make this video here, I'll give a quick summary. So I've got my bongo back from North Wales. Unfortunately, when I went up about 2 weeks ago now, I was planning doing POTA activation in Snowdonia as well. And unfortunately, the brake caliper and the whole, but basically the caliper, the disc and the pad had to be completely replaced. But thankfully, I popped it into a quick fitting banger, and over a week or two, they've been able to fix the problem. So that's been really good. So yeah, really grateful when they got that all up and running. It's not easy to find parts. Mazda Bongo, especially what is just a retail brake. But anyway, the main thing is the Bongo is back. And one of the good things is when I came back from Wales, I had a parcel waiting for me from America. As you can see, it's still a bit icy in here. I won't stop making this, but anyway. So I've had this unit for quite some time. It's an EMAP, Garmin EMAP. Let me just plug in the power. It's a Garmin EMAP, so yeah, GPS. But one of the things about it, what it does, these older ones, is that it can do the format of GPS data. So the THD7 can understand it. So, I think the only requirement on part of the Garmin is to change the configuration. Let's have a look. Menu. So if I go to setup, I'll just show you this quick. There we go into advanced. I've gone into the wrong menu. Oh wait. Yeah, let's set up. Yep. Interface. There we go. This is what I was after. So on the interface, on the output, just set that to. It's originally on Garmin, so you just change that to NMEA, and then it will start sending data out in NMEA format. So let's put that back, put some little Velcro straps on there so it can just go there. So what was in the package? So I've already, let's have a quick look. I've already had like the THD7 power supply. The trick is getting this cable here, this one. This goes into the GPS unit, and then also has a data cable on it. Which goes into the side of the THD7. You can see that into the GPS port. So the only place I could find this was a online seller. So an online seller located in the United States. When I asked them to send it to me, they said they wasn't able to do it because of taxes, which I really don't understand. So this is what it is, this cable here, and it has one wire coming out of it that then splits, one which is the back in, one which is the connection into the Garmin, and the other which is the serial port. So that's getting constant power, and then it's in providing data. So with that, I'm now able to use, because this THD7 is dual band, I can set the data frequency on to 2 meters and the second frequency for voice on to 77. So I can use the repeaters and the 77 frequency for whatever I want to use it for. What I had to do inside of the THD7, so I can now use this for APRS and also with GPS coordinates in, is just to configure. There's a few things you have to do that aren't blindingly obvious. There's only a bit of a Google around and looking at other people's posts about this, because it's quite an old unit. I mean, there was you know, quite good information available, thankfully. So the thing that I had to do to start with, at the moment you can see that my position there does contain my location, yeah. But originally, to get this to come in, I had to set it all to zeros. Now, from that point, it started working. But before that, when you set it all to zeros, if you go to My POS, which is the POS key, and then click it again, and then click OK, you copy to menu. That's the time when you want to copy it. Okay. Then you set up the beacon in the APRS menu. So if I go to menu, APRS, so I've got all the usual things in there. So GPS unit, I had to put, by default that's on off, I had to change that to NMEA, and then I set my icons and the status text, which I'll put GPS test. A good thing about this is, like, when I'm doing like parks on the air, on the way to a park, I can put in the POTA number inside of here, so people that are interested or following me can see where I am. So that'd be quite nice. So there's my frequency. I'll put it quite high at the moment, 0.5 minutes, but because it's powered from the leisure battery in the bongo, it does the right thing. So it's not going to run out of battery. One of the other thing you have to do is set the packet path. This is all documented okay, no problem there. So I've got wide 11, wide 22, wide 33. So basically that means, like, instead of using a designated digipeater, it will use it will see on its path. So it will broadcast an APRS packet with my call sign. That's the important thing, to put in your call sign. APRS designations have their own set. For this on mobile away from home, it's -9, so I've become 2E0FWE Echo -9 for APRS. But yeah, once it starts that, it will start beaconing. As you can see in the little menu there, top left hand corner, TNC's on, and then we have full duplex, so I've got both bands running, and then beacon mode. So when I'm out driving, it will update the GPS location from the EMAP, and then it will broadcast it, and if any digipeater hears it, it then repeats it out. So what that basically means is, like, I might have a very weak signal, only being 5 watts on the handheld, and a compromised antenna being mobile. If any digipeaters, which there are a couple in the area, we'll pick it up and then send the packet onwards. And with these permanent packet repeaters, they're better situated antennas with more power, so they will then hit other digipeaters. What that allows you to do is not only send the APRS packets and messages, which is another feature of the THD7, but at the moment that's focused on the GPS aspect of it, is that you can use APRS.FI and similar tools to track your location. So for the second part of this video, we're going to pop indoors, have a quick look at my setup here, and then come back out and generate some data. Hey, thanks for watching. Back in a tick. So we're back in the shack. I've got the 9700 tuned to 144-800, which is the frequency that APRS packets are broadcast on in the United Kingdom. There is one other APRS packet station based in Southampton. It's a little bit higher up on the frequency. Can't remember the exact frequency, but I've been able to reach that in the past as well. But, as you can see here, I'm just receiving APRS packets. Let's give it a moment. We're able to hear it. They're quite frequent. Well, whilst that's going, let's talk about the computer side. So there's my VHF UHF PC, and it dual boots. That's what this little drive here is actually a Ubuntu drive. So, there we go. It's an APRS packet. So if I do want to run Ubuntu and all native tools, I can do that. But for this, I'm still running Windows. It does the job, and I'm not communicating with BBS. Now you don't have to do this if you want to, do APRS, but it's just a nice way of, like, if you've got, a Linux or Windows machine, and you don't want to have pay for a dedicated TNC, which is the device that connects your machine to the packet network. You can use a software application called Direwolf. It's already pre-built. I'll put a link to where you can get that from inside of the video. But basically, this receives APRS packets from the radio and then decodes them. As you can see, I'm receiving a number here. You can see the one where I was just outside a moment ago. It's got my GPS test on it. It's got my location and speed I was going. So all that data there. Now the only say distinct configuration change I've got on the Direwolf in its current configuration is just to get it to set up so it repeats digital packets. Quickly show that. Show folder. There you go. Open file location. There we go. So in my Direwolf comp. Oh no, stop that. Apologies. Direwolf comp. This is Direwolf comp. There's documentation and tutorials to take you through that. The only difference on mine is that I'll just set it up so it repeats. There's lots of other things you can do on it as well, but iGate as well, internet gateways, if you want to relay the data over the internet. I don't do that at home with this because I'd end up repeating a lot of packets. And I'm only, for this exercise, I'm only interested in internet. But here we can see it will look for, as I showed on the THD7, it will look for wide. Like just a nice bit of regex, regular expressions for matching. It will look for wide and trace, and it will then repeat, which will then send the signal onwards. So, say when I'm out in our little van running 5 watts on the THD7 and my machine at home, the 9700 at home hears that packet, it will then send it back out again. For the purpose of repeating and sending packets, that's all you need to do. But if you want to run an application to visualize those packets, you can use APRS IS32 on Windows. There are lots of applications that do this. But yeah, here you can see, all the APRS packets that I've received. Some of these are via iGate, so they are via the internet, and some are via repeaters. So you can see here there's a little star. That's a digital repeater just based up the road. Another gentleman running Direwolf, G8TNU-10. So 10 is the designator, which tells you what kind of APRS station it is. But yeah, there's a couple around here. There's someone there running digital G4SMA and M0VPN based down in Bournemouth as well. But yeah, M0RHS, that's one I hear from most. Yeah, it's within range of my antenna here, fairly compromised, being so low down, but yeah, I can hear packets from that. And with that, when this digital repeater here hears my packets, it then sends them back out as well. And you'll see in the dial screenshots, you can see the path of where the packets have been. So you can see here that I've received a packet from Mike 0 RHS3, and that's been forwarded by me. So the path is 2E0FWE Echo. It's been sent out. So yeah, it's really clever stuff. APRS still has relevance today. A lot of the modern transceivers do APRS with GPS built into them. Obviously my Kenwood THG7 is a lot older than any of those, and getting it all to work requires quite a few different cables and bits of hardware. But yeah, it's taken a little while to get it all together, but yeah, it's been good to get that cable. I think that was the real important one. So I think now we're going out and do a road test and see what we see. What I do is I'll set up a APRS FI and get tracking, and we're about to see what routes I take, and see where the data is heard from. Then we'll show that when we come back. Hello and good morning. It's the day after now. Anyway, so as you can see, I went out yesterday with the bongo with the beaconing set on for the APRS, and yeah, it's done a really good job. The packets were received, and then they were relayed onto APRS.fi. What I thought I would show you, which is quite interesting, not only like the coverage that I got, you know, the whole route was picked up without, you know, very few gaps. There's a bit of an interval there. I think because there's a dip in that bit of the road, so it's not constantly every 30 seconds. I mean, you can see it pretty much worked well in terms of, you could see that I went on my QTH out across the countryside, popped in the farm shop. Can actually see how accurate it is. You can see I popped into the farm shop where I parked, and then I came back out. Quite incredible. Yeah, what's interesting about seeing this in APRS FI as well is like when you hover over the dots, you can see which APRS digipeater picked you up. It's quite interesting, you know. It's well, moving to APRS, quite interesting. Here I can see that I was picked up by Mike 0 Romeo Hotel Sierra -3 and G8 TNU-10. So that little whip antenna on my bongo is doing quite a good job in getting out some reasonable distances. And yeah, it's not the highest place in the round at this roundabout. But yeah, it was good, yeah, to see all the data getting relayed and working quite well. You can also click on individual points and get more data what's going on there. So yeah, I've got the time, the date, and also the speed the bongo was travelling at. I think there's a faster bit down here on the dual carriageway. So yeah, you can see I'm doing 60 mile an hour there. So coming to pull along that dual carriageway. So it's worked really well, so I'm really chuffed. But yeah, we took quite a reasonable amount of time to get all the bits and pieces together, and especially getting that cable from America was you know, the final piece of getting this all working. But it's worked really well. Well, I would say if you're considering getting a 2m77 handheld, have a look and see whether you got the budget for APRS and GPS being inside of it. Because I think it's a really useful feature to use. I mean, here I've used it obviously on my camper van driving around, but if you're out somewhere, you know, slash pedestrian mobile, or pedestrian portable, I should say, PP. Yeah, it's a good way of you know, people knowing your location as well. I think that'd be quite useful. A nice feature. So yeah, APRS and GPS certainly has some, you know, this function on its own is quite useful. APRS can obviously do a lot more. You can, if you've got people which you know are at an APRS and you need to send them a message via radio, then, you know, it's another nice thing you can do independent of using like mobile phones and the internet. It's another resource. So I think that's quite a nice thing. So yeah, overall, really enjoyable experiment. Had a nice time out. You know, driving around Farm Shop and down to Poole Harbour. It's nice to see the boats down there, and also the experiment went well, and collecting real data. And here, let's see, M0 VPN. There's quite a few of these little APRS packet stations around Bournemouth. So yeah, really happy. It's gone well. Anyway, I think I'll wrap it up there and say thank you to everyone that continues to watch my channel. I hope this is useful and providing some interest to everyone. Keep watching. I'm hoping to do a few more poacher activations as time allows. And I've got a presentation to give in a couple of weeks' time, which for Poole Radio Society G4PRS on Parks on the Air as well. So looking forward to that. I'm preparing and writing that up now, and really excited to be giving a talk on Parks on the Air. So yeah, also be like going out doing a few more activations and hopefully trying out a few different antennas. So yeah, I like the Alex Loop mag loop, but yeah, we'll see what else I can do as well. Anyway, till then, take care, and I hope you're keeping well. 73 from 2 Echo 0 Fox Whiskey Echo. Bye for now.